Last season, they won the President's Trophy. Top of the league. But then they get hit so hard by the second round loss. The team they play hits them so hard that they let the coach go and they trade the Hart Trophy nominee / record-setting winger and a pretty damn good defenseman too, and lose Mason Marchment. Hello, Paul Maurice. Hello, Matthew Kuchuk. Hello, Florida Panthers this season. Before we get into actually breaking them down, what are the expected points? What do the odds makers have them at Sports Interaction, Jesse?
The over-under is 104.5
points. That's an over. Get out of here.
I don't know.
That's quite the drop. What were they last year?
122.
Yeah, but that's President's
That's
Trophy.
an 18-point drop.
That is a 9-win drop.
I'm taking the under.
Now,
okay, here's why I think because
go.
You're both arguing.
Just go.
It's 9-win drop, but also they had a crazy amount of extra points
OTLs.
from overtime and the shootout.
Yep.
And OT dubs. And OT, you know what?
Yeah.
Screw it. Under.
You're going under 104
things gotta
points?
regress here.
Guys.
Everything in Florida is regressing. No, I'm not saying they're going to be bad or anything. We'll get to that at the end. But
I didn't say that.
No, just from President's Trophy to 103 points isn't like, panic button in Florida. We're not saying they're a bad team. They're a very good team. It's just not 120.
We're going to get a lot of angry people for all the unders we took in the Eastern Conference, but look at the discrepancy in the Eastern Conference from last year.
Guys,
I just don't see it happening.
You need
again.
to redistribute the points a little because more of the bottom teams are going to take those points.
At home, this team was 34-7-0.
Yeah.
You guys are going to take the under. Mm-hmm. You're out of your minds. You're out of your minds. And here's the thing. I agree with you. I think they've taken a step back. I'm not convinced about Paul Maurice as a coach.
Well, that's going to affect their home record.
Why is that?
Because Andrew Brunette obviously had, ruled over that building in Sunrise with an iron fist. And all of a sudden, they needed a change behind the bench. That, to me, is maybe the most mystifying change that they made. We all understand why they got rid of Joel Quenneville, but then Andrew Brunette takes you to the moon and back, and because you overspent on Ben Sherratt and Claude Giroux and disappointed in the second round, you fire your head coach.
None of that was his problem. Like, Andrew Brunette, I thought, did a great job with the tools he was provided, and I thought it was weird that they went and got a coach who didn't really want to ever work in hockey again a year earlier.
I think that was a nice excuse.
I think I'm going to file that under mysterious.
Okay.
Yeah. It was an odd departure from the Jets. I think we can all agree it was time to leave the Jets. Mm-hmm. But based on how he sounded, it's odd he's already back and with the President's Trophy win.
Yeah, I think he was just tired of where he was at.
Yeah.
And maybe he perhaps spoke too much during the press conference. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sometimes you talk a little too much talking.
I get it.
You know? Hey, listen, we step in it all the time.
No offense to Winnipeg, he could not be going to a more different market.
No, exactly. And 100%. Now, here's what I think about the Panthers this year. I think they're still a really good team.
Of course.
But I don't know if this is a going for it year. I think this is let's see as far as we can get. But I don't think they're like, we're throwing first round picks at Ben Sherratt again this year. I think that's next year. And the reason I think about that is you got a brand new head coach in Paul Maurice. You've got Matthew Kuchuk, who is brand new. The spotlight's going to be on him with that big contract extension coming, because remember, it doesn't kick in until next year. Of course, so you got new system, new star player, maybe not the draft picks to go for it, and Sergei Bobrovsky, who is known for good season, bad season, Bob.
Yeah, if you look at Huberdeau Kuchuk as a wash, losing Uyghur, I think, is really underrated.
It's not easy to lose Uyghur
in this deal. Now, good season, bad season, Bob. Well, last season he was very good. What does that mean?
There's a reason they handed out a giant extension to Spencer Knight.
Yeah, and so then, are you worried then? Because if you think Spencer Knight's better, then what's the problem?
Right. I think they're not worried now because they have his backup in place, and Spencer Knight could be very good. But it seems like there's a lot of the conversation around Spencer Knight that he's like, stamped, this is an NHL goalie who's going to be very good in the future. But how many regular season games has Spencer Knight played before last year?
I don't know.
It's like 25.
4.
Oh,
What?
Before last year's, he had that run in the playoffs, but he only played 4 regular season games. All of this pedigree that we have for Knight came from that playoff run last year. He was very good in the regular season, 32 games, but he doesn't have the resume here. But the Florida Panthers are putting a lot of faith in, if we get bad Bobrovsky, we have Knight.
yeah, and he played 2 games in that playoffs.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Damn. Wow, Jesse.
The resume's not there, but we all talk about Spencer Knight as the star goalie.
Right.
It's very odd.
It was Drieger that floated them the season before.
Yeah.
Right? That was who. And okay, so
Got him a deal.
I got to ask you this. People are asking about Matthew Kuchuk. I don't think there's any question that this guy's an extremely talented hockey player. Of
course.
How much, though, of last year, and I'm not saying that because the thing is, it's so zero-sum game. I'm not asking you whether Matthew Kuchuk is good. I'm asking you how good. How much of his success was him, and how much of it was playing with one of the greatest playmakers in the league in Johnny Gaudreau and one of the most underrated centers in the league in Elias Lindholm?
I think the answer is irrelevant because he's going to play with an even better center in Sasha Barkov.
Yes. Sam Reinhardt's not bad either. Sam,
Yeah.
Right now they got him slotted with Sam Bennett.
Nah, it's Barkov, Kuchuk, right?
That is because Bennett.
Because do you want to
was
take
in
Verhaeghe off
Calgary.
the top left wing?
And
That's
old
interesting that
Calgary.
those two are together
Yeah.
because Sam Bennett had a tumultuous relationship with Calgary, and I wonder if that's a player that Matthew Kuchuk wished he played with more. I think what we're coming to the conclusion of is he has enough toys to play with that even though he was on the 40-40-40 line in Calgary, it's not woe is me in Florida. He's going to be just fine.
Another player that never gets any credit in Florida is Anton Lindell. That's a
lot of underrated guys there.
Yeah, absolutely. Where I think that they get super thin, if you're going to poke holes in the Florida Panthers, which are an A+ team, defense. It's looking a little thin without Uyghur there. Let me run you through their defense. Forsling, Ekblad, good.
Yeah.
Mark Stahl, Radko Gudas.
Ooh.
Lucas Carlson, Brandon Montour.
Oh.
Right?
Really?
Yeah, at least right now.
Okay.
you see what I'm saying?
Not great.
It's not super duper.
Well, a lot of high event games, and the goaltending better be good.
And this is the thing, right? This is an up and down team. I wonder how much Paul Maurice changes that around. But again, good season, bad season, Bob. We're on the bad season. You're playing an up and down game. You've got Spencer Knight, who's played 32 career games, and you're going to play high event hockey? Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah,
the loss to Tampa was so eye-opening for me. Like, I saw what a really, really good team can do to this Florida Panthers team, and they took their lunch money. It was awful.
Underratedly, you know what we get to watch next season? Corey Perry and Matthew Kuchuk in the same division.
Ooh.
In one of the biggest rivalries in the league.
Matthew Kuchuk's going to add some attitude to this team that they desperately needed in that playoff series.
Yeah, and that might take some time, or he might grab someone on the first day of the season and just start punching.
I think that's more likely the
David
case.
Clarkson, like
It's just yeah.
He won't get off the
actually
bench.
do it and not get suspended 10 games for it, and not have it be the preseason. Anyway, yeah, still quite bitter about that. But some of the teams that have made the worst mistakes over the lifetime of this show, so the better part of a decade, are great teams that suffer a bad playoff loss
And then try to become the team they lost to.
Yeah, and I'm not sure.
The Leafs tried to do that. The Canucks tried to do that.
Canucks tried to
Boston.
do that. The Blackhawks, actually, after they lost to Nashville,
Yeah.
that ruined the franchise.
Yeah.
Like, they
made that Panarin trade is a disaster.
that was the very quick
I've
beginning
never
of
heard you
the end.
mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the worst
you
trade.
should talk about that.
No, but it ruined.
Imagine Artemi Panarin being coached by Dominic Ducharme.
Their trade. What could have been, guys? What could have been? Okay, so this is why I think this is a retooling year. They don't have the picks to trade. They got a new coach. They got a new star. This is still a great team that could win the Stanley Cup. But I think the go for it year is next year after these guys have had to, when they throw all their cards on the table again. That's my prediction. However, where do you have them in the division, guys?
Well, they don't have a first-round pick ever to add at the deadline, so that's going to be a problem for them. Listen, Leafs are going to be good. Tampa's going to be really good. I have more faith in Boston than I think anybody else because they have sent me to therapy. So that is why I have the Florida Panthers in 4th.
Wow. Okay.
If I could do a flip-floppy, I probably would, but I'm going to stick to what I wrote down, and that's Florida in 3rd. But I love your pick of Boston taking that 4th spot, or that 3rd spot.
Cool.
It's good.
It's too late to take back. So.
It's too late.
It is
3rd for Florida Panthers.
I too have them in 3rd. I think the Tampa Bay Lightning are a lot better than people give them credit for, and the Leafs are very, very good. So it's going to be very difficult for them to repeat. However, I still hammer that over.